I'm saying? But I just want to.
All right. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Let me know if you guys hear me. Let me do this. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Okay. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Okay. Okay, we're good on that front. I think I sound a little bit muffled though. I think I'm not. Somehow I think I'm not using my mic here. Let me try to fix my mic, you guys, real quick. I think I sound a little bit muffled. We're gonna get this thing started. I pulled it up on my laptop here, so that's gonna work for us. That's gonna work for us. Hold on. Hold on. Let me do something real quick with my mic. I don't think I'm coming out of my microphone. I should have probably went to my StreamYard. That's probably my fault. Yeah. Y'all gonna bear with me today. Just bear with me today. We're gonna get to it. But let's get back to it, man. I don't know how, I was told that y'all couldn't hear my other live, and maybe that's why I had people coming in the room and leaving because they couldn't hear me. But I know y'all can hear me now. Okay. If my mic sounds a little muffled, we're just gonna deal with it right now. I should have ran everything through my StreamYard, but I didn't. So I'm running it. I guess things are running through my actual laptop. I don't like it. It sounds a bit muffled, but just hang in there with me. We're gonna get this right. My TikTok just got bananaed. I'll be back on TikTok on November 11th. So on November 11th, I'll be back. We gotta use code words on TikTok. We gotta use code words on all these social media platforms. They don't really want me talking like this. They don't want me giving y'all the game. If I'm being honest, they don't want me giving y'all the game. So it is what it is. We're gonna stand on business. We're not gonna let anything stop us, and we're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna keep it pushing. So let me bring everything back up. Okay. What we're talking about today is building long-term strategy. Building long-term strategy. Man, I was cooking. I was cooking, y'all. I sure was cooking. Okay. But I'm just gonna pick up where we left off at. You know, I'm just gonna pick up where we left off at because I was cooking. Oh my god. I might start over. I'll do a quick run through. And then I'm gonna slow it down to where I was left off last time. I'll do a quick run through. So all those who are not in the room right now, you're just gonna have to watch the playback. Just watch the playback. Just watch the playback, and we'll go like that. So what are we talking about? Building a long-term political strategy for local, state, and national elections. We're creating a sustainable political strategy is essential for the foundational Black American community to ensure representation, influence, and the advancement of policies that directly benefit FBA interests. This strategy must be multifaceted, focusing on local, state, and national elections, and requires a deliberate, informed approach to mobilizing voters and supporting candidates and advocating for FBA specific policies. So local elections, it's important. I want y'all to know local elections are important. Okay. Local government has a direct impact on the daily lives of FBA communities. Key areas of influence include education, policing, zoning laws, and small business regulations. We got to dominate in the local. Okay. We have to dominate in the local. Before we can go state, before we can go national, we got to dominate in the local. So we have to focus on these key areas by securing representation in local offices like city councils, school boards, mayoral roles. FBAs can push for policies that directly improve their neighborhoods. control resources, and create safer and more equitable environments. That's what we're doing. We got to make sure that we are dominating in the local. As an FBA, we got to start running candidates and getting ready for what's about to come, what's about to happen. So how do local elections impact the issues most relevant to FBA communities? Uh, they do, they do. We can start getting tangibles in our city right now, and other people are taking advantage of resources that we don't even have access to, y'all. We don't even have access to these resources because guess what? We don't have government officials. We don't have local officials that are FBA. Let's keep it a buck. How many FBA? Listen, we keep letting all these other melanated people who are not Black American run for office. We vote them in, thinking they're going to do something for us because they look like us, and they never do. Especially if they're running under the Democratic Party and or the Republican Party. We got to start thinking about getting tangible, people. We can't worry about you got off the TikTok, huh? Yeah, I sound a bit muffled. I got to work on my mic, so you guys are just gonna have to bear with me right now. It's not that I'm off TikTok. I got bananaed from TikTok, so I need y'all to follow me over here for right now. I'm bananaed till November 11th. So until November 11th, I'm bananaed. So I need to be building up my YouTube anyway, you guys. I've kind of been focusing more on TikTok. So I'm going to start doing both. I'm going to start recommitting back to my YouTube and back to my TikTok family. So I got more people on my TikTok now than I do my YouTube. My YouTube used to dominate. 10,500 subscribers. I've been stuck at this level for a minute now, but we're changing it up. So I'm going to start doing both. I'm going to start going live on TikTok, and I'm going to start going live on YouTube. So we're putting together the political strategies here. So I want to bring people up on the panel. If people want to come up, just bear with me because I'm not through my StreamYard right now. I'm through just going live directly on my TikTok. So I got my webcam set up, as you see my setup here. My microphone is a bit muffled, and I'm sorry about that, you guys. I'm gonna get better quality. I have my mic right here, but I don't think it's. I think it's running through. I think everything's running through my computer, so I have to figure out how to switch that over to my microphone so it doesn't sound so muffled, so the sound is so clear. So please bear with me. I will get better. I see you, Myra. I see you, Myra. Frederick Dawkins, thank you, brother. Okay, so yeah, we got to dominate on the local level, y'all. Okay, what are some immediate benefits FBA communities could see with increased representation in local government? Man, one of the things I think that we could impact in the local government is police profiling. We need to train. We need to start training our officers, our policemen, on how to better deal with the Black community. We need to repair the relationship between the Black community and the police. So that's one of the things that when we start running our FBA people, we can start getting that cracking right now. You know, we can start creating better opportunities for businesses in our local areas, in our community, instead of having all these people who are not foundational Black Americans open up businesses right on our corner. We need to be dominating in that area. We need to be opening up businesses in our neighborhoods, y'all. So that's one of the ways that we can dominate on the local level, and running the right candidates can do that. So another thing we have to do is we have building FBA support for local candidates. We have to run the right people, y'all. Okay? Identify, train, and support FBA candidates who understand the specific needs of the community and are committed to advocating for policies that improve quality of life. We need good people. We need good people to get off the couch. I know you love your family. I know you work hard, but we need people to make certain sacrifices to run for office. People with high integrity, people with no skeletons in their closet, people who live and stand on principle and are willing to stand in the gap for FBA business, to making sure we start getting some of the tangibles that we should be getting in our own local communities. Okay, so that's important. Local candidates should be rooted in the community and have a clear understanding of issues like housing, public safety, education funding, economic development, and the economic development that disproportionately affects FBAs. We need people that got that type of understanding, right? We have to start hosting local candidates forums to assess their commitment to FBA issues. We need to start bringing them up on platforms like this. People who are running, we got to start bringing them up on platforms like this. And we got to start questioning them. We have to question their intentions, question their direction, and question their leadership. Okay, and we want answers. Okay, and once we get these answers, then we can support you. We need to organize training workshops to prepare FBA community members to run for office. We got to start preparing. We got to have a boot camp for people who want to run for office, and we got to put them through the boot camp. We got to have a boot camp, and we got to start running people through office. We have to start training. We have to put workshops together. We have to prepare people for what they're going to be up against when they're inside the political arena. Okay, we got to put people in office that have a B1 mindset, a black first mindset. And a black first mindset is an American mindset, is an American agenda, is American first. So you got to understand that just because we say B1, we are Americans. We just happen to be black Americans, and we're putting our lineage first. But putting our lineage first is putting all Americans first, if you really think about it. So we're not going to debate that. It is what it is. It is what it is. So we want to encourage a community-based funding model to support candidates. We have to support the candidates that we run. So we have to come together with a community-based funding model to support our candidates. We need security. We need our people with security. I'm just be honest with you. There's so much anti-black hatred. There's so many things that is against us that we have to start standing on business, y'all. We have to make sure that the people we run in office, they can do their job without the fear of being bullied, without the fear of any type of retaliation, and without the fear of being canceled. Okay, so we have to think like that. What qualities should we look for in local candidates who represent FBA interests? In high integrity, high principle, high intelligence. They're very smart. They're very articulate. They need to be a little somewhat charismatic. But I'm not so much focused on that stuff really, because we need to run FBA people who definitely are qualified, but they don't have to be the best speakers, y'all. They just have to be the best doers. They have to be the best at standing on business, and they can learn on the job. Okay, they're going to get on the job training. I'd love to introduce you to my friend Tammy. She's the head of the Black Chamber of Commerce, supporting small businesses and amazing marketing. Man, bring her up. Bring her up. I'd love to chat with her and see what we can do for our people. But all black people are not. Just because they have my skin color, don't mean they're black. We got to check her lineage. We got to check and see if she's FBA, and if she's FBA. I want to have the conversation. And if she has a love for our people, I want to have the conversation. Let's see what we can do in our local community to spur black-owned businesses, and also, get a foot in the door to politics. So, Chamber of Commerce is cool. I've been to many Black Chamber of Commerce. There's some good networking, but it's never really led to anything for me. And I've been in financial services for 13 plus years. So you can imagine how many breakfasts I've been to, how many Chamber of Commerce meetings I've been to. And did anything really pan out? Especially when you're selling life insurance and investment products, there's always a guy for that somebody else trusts, and you try to get in the door and you try to be that guy too, and it just doesn't work. But, if she's someone that might want to run for office, that we can identify, that knows the ins and outs, and that is willing to stand on FBA business, let's interview her. Let's figure it out. So How can we better prepare and support community members to take on roles in local government? We just gotta let them know that we're there for them. We gotta make sure that any candidate that we run comes from the grassroots. If they're coming from the grassroots, we know them. We know their family. We know their lineage, right? We know their faithfulness. We got to see what prior work they've done in the past to stand on business. I mean, they got to have a track record of standing on business. So we have to support these members with our money, income, and we have to support them with security because they're going. Whenever you're standing on business, whenever you're standing on truth, people are going to attack you in many different ways. So we have to get our people up to speed on how these attacks are going to come so they can be prepared for them. And we also, as a community, can be prepared for them so we can make sure that our candidates feel comfortable when they're running, that they got the full backing of the community behind them. And that's one of the ways we can do that. Let's move on to state election. Impact of state level governance on FBA issues. State governments control significant resources and policies that affect healthcare, criminal justice, education funding, housing, and employment laws, all of which heavily impact FBA communities. While local offices manage immediate community needs, state-level governance has a broader influence over funding allocations, healthcare access, and economic development. FBA representatives in state legislation or state legislatures can advocate for policies like anti-redlining laws, fair housing initiatives, and better state funding for schools. This is why we got to dominate in the local and work our way up into the state, because we have to combat all this anti-Black hatred that we're coming up against. We have to combat this anti-Black hatred on the local level and on the state level. And anti-red line, listen, if we're not in on these meetings, we don't know what they're doing. And we can't mobilize our people. Like when they're trying to do gentrification and we need to know about this stuff. We need to know, hey, we need to buy up the block before they do. You understand what I'm saying? So we got to advance like that. Also has a radio station. John Sally collaborates often. Okay, great. Let's bring them up, man. Let's bring them up. I'll be honest though. Anybody in mainstream media, I don't trust. If it's not coming from the grassroots, I just don't trust them. So even big names like John Sally, and we like that brother, because he's been around that dominant society and that business world. Yeah, as long as he's 100% sold out for FBA, we can work with him. But I don't like anybody in mainstream media because there's always they're attached to the dominant society, and the dominant society can mess with their money, and then they can't. All of a sudden, now they're a hindrance to what we're trying to do, and not an advocate for what we're trying to do. But all is good. We need national recognition. We need to get on some of these national airways, and we need to let people know that FBA is putting it down. So if that's a door for us that we can use, that's feasible, we'll use it. But for the most part, I'm sticking with the grassroots, man. I'm sticking with my people that I know, So what are some of the most critical state level policies that impact the FBA community? Definitely redlining. Definitely better state funded schools. Definitely fair housing. All three of those are definitely big on FBA list. And we need to come up with a strategic plan. As a matter of fact, that might be what I talk about next time. We're going to talk about how we can combat and overcome redlining laws, fair housing initiatives, and talk about how we can start mobilizing and lobbying to get better state funding for our schools and other programs that we want to start. We got to lobby for reparations at the state level, people. We got to lobby for reparations at the state level, just like we did here in California, just like they did in Atlanta, just like they're doing in a couple other cities across the country, right? We have to advocate and we have to stand on business for our reparations. And while we're waiting on reparations, we have to self repair. We have to get ourselves in position to catch this money and have a plan, strategic plan on what we're going to do with it. That's why having a think tank is so important. Having a think tank is so important. Okay. So by forming coalitions with other groups and advocating, uh, by forming coalitions with other groups and advocating as a bloc, FBAs can increase their influence in state legislatures and push for FBA specific policies. We got to form a coalition. We got to find the people that want to do the work. We got to find the people that want to build and start building. How can state legislation make tangible difference in addressing wealth inequality of FBA communities? Funding, grants, programs, new programs, new initiatives, a new look at the plight of FBA and our community, a fresh new approach. That's what we got to look at. That's how we're going to help our community. Forming alliance with marginalized groups can strengthen the FBA community's political leverage. However, it's crucial to maintain focus on FBA specific goals while collaborating with allies. So important. When we collaborate with these allies in a political scene, we got to make sure that they don't change our initiative, change our directive, change our agenda or our goals. We need our allies to be on our goal. Again, Pan-Africanism is gone, y'all. It's unalive. It no longer exists. Okay, it never worked. So you know what the new initiative is now? They got to have the Pan-Black American mindset. The Pan-Black American mindset. If they don't have the Pan-Black American mindset, it's going to be very difficult to work with them. So we need to identify people and leaders and coalitions and allies who are willing to take on the Black initiative, the Black consciousness, and help us stand in the fight to liberating our people and getting what we need at these local and state levels. So we need to develop partnerships with organizations that align with FBA goals to increase support for FBA-friendly policies. We need to establish a network of FBA advocates across cities to lobby state representatives and push for policies that address systematic discrimination, economic disparities, and criminal justice reform. We got to hold the line, okay? We got to hold the line. How can we form strategic alliances without compromising on FBA-specific goals? That's a great question. I want y'all to think about that question internally because I don't have all the answers. But how can we form strategic alliances without compromising on FBA-specific goals? One of them, I would say that, again, we have to work with people that have a willingness and a willingness to understand, a willingness to empathize with what we're going through, a willingness to adopt the Black consciousness or to listen to what the Black consciousness is and empathize with it. Okay, that's one way. That's how we can form strategic alliances without compromising FBA-specific goals. We need to have a strong mindset in our history, in our heritage, and in our agenda, and we can't waver. What challenges do you foresee in building statewide coalitions, and how can we overcome them? Man, there's going to be so many. And like I said, I wish I had my panel here from TikTok because these are a lot of the questions I would ask you guys, and we would try to figure out. You know, we have some smart people on my TikTok channel, and unfortunately, I got a banana today. And unfortunately, they bananaed me from the platform until November 11th. So I'm in timeout. I'm on timeout right now. So I gotta start building back with my YouTube family. Okay, I gotta start building back. I'm gonna make a commitment, especially now especially now until the 11th. But even after the 11th, I'm going to make a better commitment of coming on here and talking to the YouTube family, okay, and get you guys on board. Get you guys on board, okay. So we have a lot of challenges that we're going to have to face, and facing these challenges is not going to be easy. It's important that we put together a think tank probably before we start running candidates. So we need a think tank probably before 2024 ends. Now that I'm thinking about it, we need to be looking at who we are going to identify in this think tank and start setting it off. Instead of wait, you know what? Instead of waiting, that's exactly what we need to do. Instead of waiting for other key people and other key leaders to come into place and build this think tank, we just need to start the think tank, y'all. Matter of fact, we're going to start the think tank. Especially when I get back on TikTok, I'm letting everybody know I'm calling the shot. We are just going to start the think tank, y'all. We're going to start identifying the people that are here that are available, and we're going to start putting together a think tank right away and start solving these problems. I'm going to be on the think tank, God darn it. I'm a spearhead the think tank. And I know there's people more articulate and more intelligent than I am, but we got to work with what we got. And I got solutions. Make sure y'all click the link in my bio. Make sure y'all click the link in my bio. There's 3 things I need you guys to download. The link in my bio. I need y'all to download the FBA treaty, the FBA Code of Honor, and the FBA Constitution. Those are the 3 things. But you know what? We can't wait. We can't wait for a think tank, y'all. We just got to start it. We just got to start it. And you know what? I'm going to start it. I'm going to start a think tank starting November 11th, 12th, 13th. We're going to start. We're going to gather the troops. We'll know more on how we're going to move after this election based on who wins. And based on who wins this election, we're going to start strategically putting things in place for our people. So we are going to call the shot. Thank you, God. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Yes, indeed. We are going to call a shot, and we're just going to start the think tank. We are going to start the think tank. We're going to start bringing people in who wants to be a part of the think tank, and we're going to start coming up with solutions to solve our problems. We're going to work with what we got. There might be multiple think tanks now. You know, who knows? But we're going to start a think tank, and we're going to get it going, and we're going to start throwing money at this think tank, and we're going to start solving problems. That's what we're going to do. We're going to step out on faith. We're going to step out on faith, and we're going to let our ancestors and the Most High go to work on our behalf. That's what we're going to do. So stay tuned. Real quick, we're going to get the think tank. Let's talk about the national election strategy. How we need to start mobilizing for the next 4 years, so we can get in a position in the next 4 years, maybe not to run a candidate, but to definitely do some lobbying. Federal decisions impact broader policy areas like tax laws, healthcare, housing, and criminal justice reform. FBAs need strong representation at the national level to advocate for federal policies that address systematic issues. The FBA community must push for national policies that support reparations, fair housing, economic empowerment, and equitable health care. National elections also impact judicial appointments, which can have long-term implications for civil rights and social justice. Oh, yes, it does. Oh, yes, it does, FBA. Yes, it does, family. We have got to get a foot on the national level. While we're conquering the state, while we're dominating the local, we need to empower ourselves in key positions. We need to be so powerful, so unified, so on point. Our voting block needs to make an extreme difference, and we're lending it only to FBA candidates. We are lending it only. We are looking to buy politicians who are even non-FBA to work on our behalf, to push things through. Oh, yes, we are. We are lobbying. We are lobbying. We are lobbying. Okay. How can FBA interests be represented effectively on a national stage? We got to lobby. We got to lobby, and we got to get some people in the Congress, in the Senate, all that stuff. We got to dominate, y'all. We got to dominate the local, conquer the state, and then we are empowering ourselves for this national level of advocacy that we're looking for. Okay. What federal policy should the FBA community prioritize to create long-term benefits? That's something we got to think of. I don't got all the answers, y'all, but these are questions that need to be answered. I want you to think of these questions internally. How can FBA interests be represented effectively on a national stage? That's one question. Another question we got to be answering is what federal policy should the FBA community prioritize to create long-term benefits? That's where the think tank comes in. We got to know what we're aiming at, so we hit the mark. We got to know what we're aiming at, so we can hit the mark. Okay. Supporting FBA friendly congressional candidates. Identifying and backing congressional candidates who support FBA specific issues such as reparations, tax incentives for Black owned businesses, and funding for education can create long term systematic change. So we have to identify and backing. We have to identify and back congressional candidates who support FBA specific needs. By strategically supporting candidates committed to FBA interests, the community can increase its influence in the federal legislative process and ensure that key issues are addressed in national policy debates. We got to understand, y'all. We got to understand we got to do everything strategic now. All our moves count. We cannot leave nothing to chance. We have to dominate. We have to step up. We have to take our place, and we got to move in sync. Keyword, move in sync, so we can get things done. Couple of things that we can start looking at is in the next 4 years is establishing a PAC, a political action committee, focused on funding FBA friendly candidates for Congress. We need a PAC. We need a super PAC. We need a PAC so we can support our candidates and our congressional people who are going to run for office, who are in power already, so they can do what we need them to do. We need them to be super, super, super concerned about FBA. We need them focusing on getting us tangibles for our community. No longer are we accepting symbolism. We want tangible. So we need to create a national voter guide outlining candidates' stances on FBA specific issues. That's something that we can put together now, family. Create a national voter guide outlining candidates' stances on FBA specific issues. We need to know who is who. We need to mobilize FBA voters around national election cycles to maximize turnout and ensure FBA representation. Come on, y'all. Tell me I don't got some solutions over here. Come on now. Oh, yes, I do. Y'all wanted solutions, I'm giving it to y'all. So make sure y'all watch the playback of this, man, because I'm dropping game. So rewind and go back to the beginning. I'm dropping so much game on y'all. So much game on y'all. Questions for the panel and the chat. I don't have a panel right now, but I got one in the chat. One in the chat. Thank God for the loyal and the faithful, right? What qualities should we prioritize in national candidates who claim to support FBA interests? I want y'all to think about that internally. What qualities should we prioritize? Well, one of them is they got to be reparation friendly. They got to be reparation friendly, and they got to be about our kids getting the proper education. So that's two things right there. They got to be about our reparations, and they got to be about our kids getting the proper education. That's real. How can we create national voting blocks to exert greater influence in congressional elections? How can we create a national voting bloc to exert greater influence in congressional elections? We just got to stand on business, y'all. We got to get the word out. We got to continue content like this. We got to continue putting this content in front of our people's ears so they understand. Listen, we cannot no longer vote any old way. We have to combine our vote. We have to amplify our voice and amplify our vote and point at a candidate and get them over the hump. That's how we got to do that. That's how we got to move, family. We got to move in a way where it's strategic. And when we start moving strategically, the FBA family is going to follow suit. So I'm putting all this on the business class and the middle class. This is on our shoulders. All middle class and business class FBAs. This is something that we need to come together and decide. How are we going to vote? This election, you're going to vote how you vote. Okay? Whoever wins, wins. You know, Kamala or Trump. But it comes down to this. What's next? If Kamala wins, we have to make sure she doesn't win the next 4 years, you know. Or if she wins, we have to make sure that we make her do something for FBA before she leaves office. Make her do something for FBA before she leaves office. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at. We need to develop a self-sustained FBA political structure, you guys. By establishing independent political infrastructure, FBAs can gain power without depending on traditional party structures. Come on, y'all. By establishing independent political infrastructure, FBAs can gain power without depending on traditional party structures. Political independence allows FBAs to support candidates based on their positions and track records rather than party affiliation. This approach increases accountability and ensures that elected officials address FBA-specific concerns. Got to pay for our vote. We need to make them pay for our vote, family. They got to pay for our vote. And we're not beholden to the Democratic or Republican Party. That's a beautiful thing. We don't care. We're not beholden to either party. We just want what we want. We want what we want. And we're going to get it. And whatever candidate gives us what we want, we're going to give them our vote. Establish FBA PACs to financially support candidates across all levels who align with FBA goals. Create centralized platform or think tank to develop FBA-specific policies, positions, and inform candidates. We're doing that right now. We're going to get that popping this month of November. Hold regular community meetings and debates to discuss and refine FBA political priorities. Oh, yes, we are. Oh, yes, we are. Oh, yes, we are. It's called TikTok. It's called YouTube. It's called in-person meetups. Okay? We're going to hold an in-person meetup, and then we're going to have a meeting after the meeting, right? That's what it's called. It's called mobilizing our people. It's called 1 million. Oh, guess what, family? We are going to put together a 1 million woman march. Oh, yes, we are. We had the 1 million man march. We're going to put a 1 million woman march. We're going to have our FBA sisters fight for the family and fight for our children. We're not talking about any feminist agenda or anything related to feminism. We want our women specifically speaking on the Black family and the Black children. That's what we want. We want to mobilize a 1 million woman march. That's what we want to do. There will be men there. But the men will be security. The men will be security, and we're there to back up our women and protect our women. And we're gonna have powerful women speak. I can already see this happening. I can already see this blowing up and going mainstream and going worldwide even. We need to have a 1 million woman march. 1 million FBA women marching for the Black American family and our children. We need our women speaking out. Our women are protectors too, and we need them out there doing their job. We need the most articulate women speaking and talking about FBA issues. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Hold regular community meetings, debates. Yes. So how can the FBA community maintain political independence while still achieving influence? That's something that we need to think about, family, and we need to talk about. Okay. What are the benefits and challenges of establishing self-sustained FBA political infrastructure? That's something we need to think about and we need to bring to the table. Okay. How can FBA community maintain political independence? Starting our own party. Foundational American Party. The Foundational American Party. Yes, we can. A lot of us, we need to switch over into the independent. We need to make the independent party our party until we start our own. The independent party is our party until we start the Foundational American Party. And the Foundational American Party will be reparation friendly, based on lineage only. No non-FBAs are going to be included in any more of our reparation meetings. If you're not FBA, you don't need to be talking about reparations. You shouldn't even care. Okay? That's our business, not yours. What are the benefits and challenges of establishing self-sustained FBA political infrastructure? We're always going to have haters, y'all. We're always going to have people in our midst who want to join who are non-FBA. And then when they join, they're going to try to take us down from inside out. Our biggest thing is COINTELPRO. Our biggest thing is COINTELPRO. We can't allow ourselves to be infiltrated, people. We cannot allow ourselves to be infiltrated. So this is where we're at. This is where we're at. I got a lot more to talk about. I'll probably come back on a little bit later. And then we'll get into it. But we're going to stay on this topic for a while. And yeah, we're going to stay on this topic for a while. We are going to stay on this topic for a while, y'all. And we are going to get our people mobilized. So those who came and watched the show, I appreciate it. Those who came over from TikTok and joined me on YouTube, I appreciate it. Y'all bear with me. I'm going to get the microphone so it doesn't sound so muffled, right? Because I think it's coming out of my my laptop and not my mic over here. So that's what it is. It's coming out of my mic. That's why it's not coming out of my mic. It's coming out of my laptop. That's why it sounds muffled. But we're going to get that situated, okay? So I want to thank you guys for coming out. I want to thank those who joined me on the program. I'm going to end the program. I'm going to start posting some videos up. I'm going to chop this up and get it out and get it available to you guys. And yeah, we're going all the way here, y'all. I'm a rhino. Hop on my back. I'm going to take you to the promised land. I'm a rhino. Hop on my back. And I'm going to bulldoze everything in our way. And I'm going to get us all the way to the promised land. Trust and believe. So y'all check out my show again. I'll be back up here tomorrow. I'll be doing this on every day. Especially since I'm bananas from TikTok, I'm going to be back here every day. So y'all come check me out, okay? This is the Too Much Moxie podcast. I'm your humble host, Too Much. And guess what, y'all? We out, man. Peace out. Y'all take it easy.